we are going to talk about the proposal by government to increase the salaries of judges. Do you think their salaries are actually justifiable? From just 5 million to a whopping 40 million, and of course for other judicial officers from 200,000 shillings to 5 million shillings. Do you think it will improve the efficiency of judges in this country? What is the comparison with other countries? And if you want to be a part of this discussion, get on Facebook, Minibuzz Uganda, tweet us at Minibuzz, but also syndicate SMS Kusumio to 6565. But thank you guys for joining us. The Chief Justice right now receives a salary of 5.8 million, and it will be increased to 40 million shillings per month. So an increment of 35 million shillings, about 35. Well, the Deputy Chief Justice will rise from 5.3 to 34 million shillings. Principal Judge atakuba afuna 32 million shillings from 5 million. Supreme Court Justices who earn 4.9 million will receive 29.6 million. And the judges at the Court of Appeal will be paid 28.1 million from 4.7. High Court Justices will earn 26 million from 4.5.
I want to be a judge when I grow up.
Kati, you want to talk? You've heard the figures.
Yeah.
Do you think that will this increment is justifiable? Why do you think so?
If they are to be independent in what they do, and also fail to maybe be compromised by bribes and so on and so forth, or trying to play extra jobs where you find a judge has maybe a business in Chiku or trying to keep an eye downtown, they have to concentrate, and I think it's justified to that extent.
Right. I think it's justified basically for two reasons. Number one, judicial officers oftentimes adjudicate disputes whereby millions of money is involved. Billions actually of money is involved.
Obscene amount.
An obscene amount of money is involved. So it's really tempting to adjudicate a dispute of, for example, $60 million when you are being paid a meager salary. The temptation to be bribed, to be corrupted is very strong. So if we are to insulate judges from being tempted to be corrupted and to be greedy and to be bribed, we must pay them adequate, proper remuneration.
Kubanga nabo balina obwetaavu tebatukagana kati na mulembe nga bwe guli kubanga te mulembe guli nnye buli muntu kati agenda kupaaluusa buli kintu okitegedde bonna manyi omulamuzi afunye miliyoni 5 mupya muteeseza ate yajja kwagala 10 ojja kuwulira nga nabo beeyongezezza
so kino kigenda sikiriza abalala
nabo bagenda kweyongeza ovaawo ne ticca naye yamusomesa
abaticha bo baba
nabo bagambe nze nasomesa omulamuzi nti oba afunye 5 nange njagala 8 bijja muno okwekalakaasa
gwe toyagala babongere
kubanga kyekiriwo kati kiseera kino babongere.
And there's a backlog. You talked about backlog of 15,000 cases that have not yet been solved. Do we have enough judges? What is stopping all that? Let's take a look at Elias Tisauze, who is the spokesperson of the judiciary. But come out to one of the things, some of the challenges, for judges, and what do you think should be done?
Recently, we made as a judiciary submission to increase the remuneration of judges, particularly. And as far as when you look at what now they earn and what they go through, it's very justifiable because the judges or judicial officers go through so much, and to maintain that decorum and dignity, they have to sacrifice a lot. Many people don't know that the judges or judicial officers are barred from actively engaging in businesses, so they cannot be directors. So if you are not a director, is an owner, or of the business, but if you can't, you are only a nominal shareholder, so you cannot actively. Not only that, including our spouses, and we are not supposed to engage in many classes of business, because some of these business they may jeopardize your judicial duties. Because I assuming that you have a bar, you can operate a bar and you supplement your income, but you are not, because the potential litigants can come there, and then that will be a matter which will undermine your independence and compromise you. So these are some of these things. The justification is real, and on a comparative note, you find that we are the least remunerated. The judges or judicial officers in the region, the East African region, are the least remunerated. The judges must be well remunerated, and even then you see that the judges compared to other professions, I can compare them to other professions like the medical and others. While the medicals, they get less than what the judges, but for them they can practice, say in the evening or on the weekend or any time. So alongside government, but for the judicial officers, the judges, they are bad strictly. Your office is only the judicial office, and you are not supposed to do any other legal work outside that office. Currently, the professional judicial officer earns 1.1, and then the head, the chief justice, is something around 5M. So you find that even the driver in KCCA earns more than what the chief justice. So who is the head of an arm of government?
Lots of laughter when he says KCCA drivers earn more than our judges here.
Is that true, really?
It's true, because they have the free will to do like the external businesses, and like he said, compared to Kenya, usually there's the basic salary, there's entertainment, those things, because they're not allowed to go to the normal bars where we usually go. So for someone to go to Kampala Club, you need to have good money.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's true.
you want to hang out in Serena, you must have good money.
Yes.
So it's justifiable. Maybe they do it in step, maybe to have been like 100%, then try and see how they work. Maybe tell them reduce on the backlog by this percentage, then we shall add the other one,
Right.
like in 2 years time or in 3 years time. But it's very justifiable.
And how
Kenyans
much
pay
they get?
about 29 million shillings
They get a lot.
to their judges. Zambia pays 9 million shillings, and our chief justice, who literally assumes the office of the president in case the president is not around, gets 5 million shillings.
They literally immerse themselves in their profession, and that's all. If they do something else, their integrity will
It's
be
compromised.
compromised, and even they will not be transparent enough. But there's another important factor we must know. The judiciary is actually another arm of government. It's the third organ of government. When you look at the speaker who heads the legislature, which is another organ of government, she earns a lot, and the privileges she's given are so much. Then the president who leads the executive, all his privileges and the budget of the state house. And then the chief justice who heads another organ of government gets a meager 5 million.
But don't they get other allowances too and privileges?
I don't think there's really much of privileges for the chief justice or the rest of the judicial officials if we are to compare them to those of the rest of the arms of government, because maybe nothing except the cars and just a few petty things which even MPs can enjoy. But I would like to respond to what Dr. Lukwago and him talked about, the attracting increment of salary across the border, the teachers and the rest.
Now that's Jackson.
I think we have less than 300 judges
Potential
and
judges.
Yes. So this is a very small number that it wouldn't have a very big pinch on the economy compared to increasing teachers or maybe other professions who are across the country, you see. So this shouldn't be a worry that increasing their salaries will have a huge niche on the economy or something. No, there are very few of them.
Even if the number is small, but it has a pinch, it has some, there's something
There's
that's
an
to do with the
effect.
budget. There's that effect. There must be an effect maybe. But we are talking about the readiness of the government to meet these demands, their new demands. This now we are talking about the basic salaries here, isn't it? But there are other increments that may come up.
Yes.
But we are talking about the readiness.
So
of
in
the
your
government.
opinion,
Now,
your opinion, if you feel like coming from 5 million to 40 million might be a heavy burden for the government, how much do you think they should start with? Because we want them to increase their salaries.
Yeah.
But to what extent do you think the government might be like, okay, let's start with this?
Yeah, they should have made it gradual. Let maybe from 5 times, so maybe 20 to 10. Then it develops gradually.
So that we get ready with them.
So that maybe we get used with a system that there's an increment after some time. There's an increment, but not so drastic. Now where shall we go from 40? Shall we go to 80? Because like something like that. It's crazy. Something it's crazy.
But it's also profitable. Actually, at the end of the day, government may not lose. A motivated judiciary will save the government a lot of money. Just a while ago, about 2 weeks ago, it was revealed in newspapers that the government has spent a lot on legal costs.
Well, we have actually lost. We have to pay compensate 250 billion shillings to cases we've lost.
Yeah, and do you know what brings that about? It's because of sluggish, demotivated, laxity in the judicial service. But if they are motivated, they will discharge their duties with diligence, and at the end of the day, save the government money. But another point which is very pertinent before you take the camera away from me is that high salaries consolidate the doctrine of independence of the judiciary. And that doctrine is yoked together with the doctrine of rule of law and constitutionalism.
So you think if someone is paid little, they are still...
They will not be independent enough, and they will compromise the principle of rule of law and the principle of constitutionalism, which are the cornerstones of civilization.
Yes.
And without civilization, there is tyranny and dictatorship.
Wabula,
This money is justified.
Right.
Yeah, they should be paid this money.
Right. Well, if you're just joining us at home, you can just hear some of the language that is used. It's about
from the yolk, not for the egg.